Hey, welcome back. Today, what I want to go over is a stretch for the back of our legs. Last week, did a video about the diagonal stretch, which is like the king of all stretches, and that's mainly for the front of your hips and a little bit for that midsection, for that low back as we loosen up the psoas and other muscles in there. But today, we're going to be getting into the back of the legs, working in this straddle position called the pancake stretch. And this is a stretch that I like to do pretty much every single night before bed. Depending on the day, I'll do it a little easier, I'll do it a little harder, and it's not a stretch that I put officially in my program. So this is a stretch I do completely by feel. I'm gonna show you the technique I use to kind of get deep into it and work on my straddle position. So with the pancake stretch, the first thing that we wanna do is just straddle our legs out to about 90 degrees. If you are pretty flexible, we don't wanna get all the way out to the splits. And if you're super duper tight where you can only get your legs about this far apart, then what you're gonna wanna do is sit up on something. It's gonna improve your flexibility. Something like that bench behind me or a stack of weights, it's gonna work great for that. About 1 to 2 feet high is probably gonna be helpful enough. And then from there, you can gradually decrease the support as your flexibility increases. The next part that's important for the pancake stretch, and this is probably more important than the straddle width, is that when we're working in this position, we're gonna have our back straight. So if sitting on the ground for you like this causes your back to be rounded into this position and your hips dump backwards, same thing, use the bench, use the stack of weights to improve the angle and make sure that you can get a nice flat back position. So once you have your setup, whether you're sitting flat on the ground or you're sitting on a bench like that, we're gonna sit up nice and tall. We'll place our hands behind our head. And then from here, we're just gonna come forward as far as you're able to, keeping that chest up. And we'll hold for about 10 to 15 seconds. So once we settle into this position, we got a nice tension through here on our legs. All we're gonna do here is we're going to drive our heels into the ground, curling, creating tension, more tension on the hamstrings, and then we'll straighten those legs out and we'll take up the slack. So you'll notice I move forward about an inch or two after that, which is great. And we'll repeat this for about 3 to 5 cycles. Let's do 2 more. So we'll curl for about 10 to 15 seconds. We'll curl hard while we continue to lean forward and keep that tension. And then when we relax, we'll go further forward. Let's do 1 more of these guys. We'll curl the hamstrings, create that tension, keep the chest forward, working hard. Curl, straighten, and reach. Hold the last one. And then come out of it nice and slow. So what we're doing there is we're putting the body into a stretch position. Once we're in that stretch position, we're activating and creating tension and strength with the muscles that are stretching so that when they relax, the brain is like, this is okay, I see what's happening here, I'm gonna let you get further, deeper into this range of motion. So repeating that process 3 to 5 times of about 15 seconds active, 15 seconds stretching is going to get you deep enough. Because the technique is potent, you don't want to do more than 3 to 5, and you don't want to do more than probably 2 to 3 sets of it because you're going to get pretty sore and you can pretty easily take it too far. So when you're trying this stretch out, first things first, make sure that you can get that back straight. Use the support, use the bench so that you can have that nice posture. And then just work at maybe 60 to 70% effort for a few weeks while you get familiar with the feeling of stretching. And once you start to feel more confident with the stretch, once you've been doing it and you know it's not either A, injuring you outright, or B, making the rest of your training like squats or deadlifts feel sketchy, then you can gradually start to increase that tension. Remember always that when you're stretching, new range is weak range. It hasn't been used before, so you want to give it plenty of time over weeks and months to develop, just like any other strength would that you're more comfortable with. So use the pancake stretch, do it before you sleep. Don't do it too hard, get familiar with it, and good luck increasing your mobility.